Hey YouTube, that homescholar here doing the review for the finale of Sleepy Hollow. And let me just say, I was not expecting this. I was not expecting this to happen. I was expecting for the season to end with Malik rising and, you know, it going off the... Malik is dead, y'all. He is dead. And I'm just so shocked. And I'm kind of... I know something really bad is going to be happening next season. I don't see anyone getting along hunky-dory. Let's just go ahead and talk about it. So, in the beginning of the episode, Lieutenant and Crane are on their way to the manor, the house where Henry was born, and a lot of things have taken place where, you know, the Headless Horseman and Henry, they've all been staying there. That's where they've been keeping Katrina captive. And when they get there, all the lights are out. And they took so long getting there. The issue was I guess when Malik finally grew up and as he was reigning on the earth, he just started snatching everybody's electricity. He was like, I want that electricity, I want that, I'm just taking it all. And he took, like, lightning happened in the sky and the Jeep dies down, just powerless. They happen to just be close to a gas station / mechanic shop. And they're there, and the guy's like, yeah, I can repair this for you in about an hour if I had the parts. And Abby's like, so you don't have the parts? And he's like, no. And then all of a sudden, it starts lightning and thundering all over again, and the power at the service station goes out. He goes in and says, I'm going to call a cab. That was before the power went out, but he goes into the building anyway. Why Abby and Crane are standing there like they can't walk, I have no idea. They're about 5 miles away from their destination, as my GPS would say. And they see this motorcycle over to the corner. And they're like, you know what, let's just go ahead and get on this motorcycle. They don't ask the guy, can we borrow it? They just get on the motorcycle and they go. It's a machine that does not need electricity, so they just get on it and they go. So that's when they finally get to the house and the lights are off and they're like, oh my goodness, are we too late? And as they're walking around in the house, they hear Katrina screaming, oh no, please. They run into the backyard, which I am not understanding why they couldn't see the fire in the backyard, like the light from it when they were in the front of the house. That was just a whole bunch of wasted time to me. And Katrina is tied up. They are about to do there's a big old lizard in my screen. They, as in the Headless Horseman, is about to cut her head off and make her his bride. And there, you know, the sword that they found in the last episode, Crane has that sword and he's taking the Headless Horseman head on head. They're fighting and Crane is fighting like a boss. He breaks the axe. Well, it's not really the axe, but the beheader tool that the Headless Horseman has. And clearly knocks that thing right out of his hand. Abraham's rolling all on the ground and he's scared now. And Crane is ready to kill him. And here comes Katrina saving Abraham's life, saying no. Abby went ahead and untied her from the post. And they walk over to Crane and Abraham, and Katrina's like, no, let me use my magic to work on this necklace so you can see his face. And the reason she was saying that was because Crane was like, tell us where Malik is or you gonna die. And Crane was like, I'm gonna kill you whether you tell me or not because I just don't like you. Abraham goes on to tell Crane and Abby and Katrina that the sword has a power to where if you kill someone with this sword, that sword claims your soul. And I mean, whether you're trying to do it for good or evil, you lose your soul if you use the sword to kill somebody. It's like a life for life or power for, like, you know, sacrifice, all that type of stuff. And Crane's like, you're lying, you're trying to waste your time. And Abby's like, yeah, he's lying. And Katrina's like, oh, but he could be telling the truth. And like everybody, Crane, Abby, and I, sitting there looking at her like, girl, are you crazy? And they end up taking Abraham to the underground area where they're able to tie him up yet again. And they tie him up, and Katrina is in the room with the Headless Horseman, with Abraham, and she's walking around him saying her little gibber jabberish. And Crane and Abby are in the other room looking through the glass at them. And Abby talks about the weirdest things at the weirdest time. We need to sit up here and we need to figure out where Moloch is and all this type of stuff. Abby is talking to Crane about his marriage to Katrina and talking about, I know it must be hard for you seeing your wife with Abraham. She was just being messy. She was being mad messy. But all this stuff doesn't even matter. Can we just get to the good part? The good part is this. They realized that Abraham was telling the truth. And Katrina tells Abraham, you know what, I care for you. Even through everything, I care for you. Crane hears this conversation. He is in his feelings about it. They have decided, Katrina and Crane, Ichabod Crane, have decided until, you know, this war is over, they are going to be comrades and they're going to fight for each other and all this type of stuff. But after that, we just need to split ways, because Abraham's like, girl, you lied to me, you did this, you a witch, you a spy, all that type of stuff. And Katrina's like, I can't believe you would question my love. Like, girl, Crane boo, if you leave her in the next season, go ahead and get with Abby, because she your ride or die. Go ahead and get with Abby. Go ahead and get with that. Leave Katrina alone. She is not on your level right about now. Anyway, they have decided they need someone that doesn't have a soul or has already signed away his soul to use this sword and help fight. Who would that be? The old chief. The chief in charge. The old sheriff. So they are able to find him by listening to the message that he left for Jennifer. And the code, he left a code, which was a year that Crane knew about, because, you know, like, he's this historic person. And they're able to find him. They tell him, you know what's going down. And he's like, you know what? I will fight. But here's my thing. Before he says, okay, I will go ahead and I will fight for you guys and fight with you guys and do all this and use this sword, he is now a felon. He's run away from being in, I want to say purgatory, it's not purgatory, for being in the asylum. So now he's a felon, he's on the run, and he has issues with fighting at first because he has family that he already hasn't seen in forever, that he's not actually providing for, that he ended up going through all this rage, losing his position and his job, and going to the asylum and becoming a felon because he wanted to protect his family. So why would he not fight for his family? I was just really confused by that. But he goes ahead and he says, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna fight. So they give him the sword. They go back to the underground where Katrina and Abraham are, and he is ready. When I tell you Orlando Jones did not give me a bit of gay tease, this was the first time I was able to look at him as an actual man. No joke. And if you have not seen any show with, you know, him on it, go and look at, look up Bernie Mac on Netflix, the Bernie Mac show. And in the episode where Jordan has a birthday party, Orlando Jones played a party planner. And it's like in every movie or in every show that I have seen him in, he's always played this gay dude. And in this episode, he you want my number? Moving right along, going past everything else that has nothing to do with anything as far as I am concerned. Everyone's headed out for battle. Now this is the part where I am totally into it. Because as I said in my last review, when you know you are about to be facing demons and doing a whole bunch of type of stuff, you need to be strapped up. And Jennifer in this episode was like, we need to have our weapons. We need to be ready. They went and they got Harley, the doc guy. They got all his weapons. They said, we need every last weapon you got. They went and got strapped up. They ready. They rolling out. They're going out to the battlefield. Moloch is there. He has risen all these evil people up out the grave. And they're fighting. They're fighting. And, you know, everyone's out there. And this is what was funny to me is that all of a sudden, the man that was concerned about fighting because he had a family is out there using this sword, and he's flipping it up and down, and he's catching it, and he's bobbing and all this type of stuff, and he ends up fighting Henry spiritually. The armor that Henry can control without actually being in it, he defeats that no problem. But in the midst of him trying to defeat that and getting all excited and doing the flips and all this type of stuff, he ended up getting cut on his side. Now, I think that was the side his appendix were on, and since you can get your appendix taken out, I'm not understanding why he ended up dying anyway. I'm just very confused about that. I'm not really sure if that was the appendix side. But you know what? It was crazy because with Katrina being a witch and her using these powers all through this time, now she's saying her being in, you know, this world, it's weakening her witchful powers, and she is not able to heal him before he dies. He ends up dying. But I would really like to know, did he really die? They pulled the sheet over him and Abby was running out in slow motion and she was crying and screaming, no, all that type of stuff. But did he really die? I would like to see him come back in the new season. Maybe we could just make it seem like, you know, her powers were working, they were just slow, and he just came back because Moloch was defeated, so he got his soul back, and when he got his soul back, he got his air. I don't know, y'all can work that out if y'all will, but anyway, they ended up staying in the, what's the name of the church? They were in this church that was across from the battlefield, not that far away. Henry is hurt because even though he was fighting spiritually and the armor was the one fighting, he was still hurt. So he's holding his arm, he's limping. Moloch tells him, go and get that sword and Moloch tells him to go and get that sword, and Henry's calling Moloch Father, but Father, I could die, and you're telling me to risk my life, and okay, Father, I will obey. You're my father. We're gonna rule the world and all this type of stuff. And Moloch has peeled off all his skin, and he looked like a burnt French fry with. And so Henry goes to the church, and he's up in there, and he's asking for the sword, and Abby comes out with the sword, and I'm thinking, oh, this dumb broad. And he ends up having vines tying her up, and then Jennifer comes out and shoots Henry. Now, you know, even though he is human, he is here in the flesh, he is also pretty much a witch, so no bullet is gonna harm him. And she flies up on the wall, because he just goes like that, and she hits her head, and next thing you know, Henry picks up the sword, but that wasn't really the sword, and he tells them, you know what, come on children, let's go see Moloch. He gets everybody up, and they're walking out, and they're going to the Moloch's area. They are now all tied up to the 4 trees. And Henry is told by Moloch, go ahead and sacrifice your mother. And Henry's like, what? sacrifice my mother? Okay, I'm gonna do it. And he gets ready to swing, and Crane finally says, no, take me. Now, here's the thing. What I did not see coming. Remember when I was saying, when someone tells you who they are, please believe it. Well, before they were walking out, and Crane was talking to Henry, Crane was saying things like, you're my son, our beef is not with you, so to speak. Our beef is not with you, this is with Moloch, you can be saved, yada, 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 yada. And Henry's like, you'll never stop caring about me. And then he had that evil twitch, but I thought, okay, this person is never going to change. However, when they were tied up to the tree, and Crane says, no, take me, Henry says, he's talking, you know, any father that will sacrifice his son, and da 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 da. And he takes up the sword, and he goes to swing at Crane, but he turns around and stabs Moloch. And I said, I got my life. I got my life. That episode did it for me. I want to feel like that after every episode. I'm not sure what they are going to do next season. I do feel like somebody somewhere is still going to try to do something. Some evil is still going to happen. Even though Moloch turned into fire and everything, he may still come back. He may still come back. And the reason I say this is because before there was Henry, before there was all those other people, Moloch was using other people to do what he wanted them to do. And he may be just sent up to the sky and need a vessel that's willing to accept him. I don't know. But I'm happy that this season is over. I'm done. Hallelujah. But that was the end of the review. Tell me how you like that episode. Tell me what you think the next season is going to be. And I will see you all next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Smooches!